Tech giants in the West spend billions of dollars developing proprietary artificial intelligence models. But when they try to deploy those massive investments into China, the world's largest smartphone market, their data packets hit a dead end. The Cyberspace Administration of China enforces a strict legal barrier. Before any generative AI model can reach a consumer's phone, it must pass rigorous local registration and prove complete data sovereignty. This diagram illustrates what we call the dual stack burden. To legally operate in China, foreign manufacturers have to maintain their standard global architecture while engineering an entirely separate, localized stack from scratch. Take Apple. Globally, Apple Intelligence is built on their proprietary Apple Foundation models, or AFM. But for iPhones sold in China, that foundational layer is ripped out to comply with local laws. To survive in this market, a tech giant must voluntarily hand over the most crucial layer of its ecosystem to its direct local competitors. In July 2026, the Cyberspace Administration of China officially cleared Apple Intelligence to operate locally. But regulatory clearance is not the same as a launch. That filing simply gave Apple the legal permission to begin the complex engineering work required to actually deploy the service. This flowchart visualizes how Apple is patching the hole in their architecture. User inputs like text and audio are routed through Apple's MLX framework directly into Alibaba's Qwen model. Qwen acts as the brain, handling complex language reasoning and content generation. But the architecture doesn't stop there. For visual data, like camera recognition and localized search, the system routes around Qwen and sends the feed to Baidu's ERNIE model, which acts as the system's eyes. Apple successfully bypassed the regulatory wall, but at the cost of managing a multi-partner AI architecture that lacks the native unity of their global framework. You might hear that Samsung's smartphone market share in China collapsed to under 1% because they rely on Google Gemini, which is blocked by the firewall. The facts don't support that. Samsung actually executed the exact same local playbook as Apple. Years ago, Samsung partnered with Baidu AI Cloud to swap out Google services for ERNIE-powered Galaxy AI. This partnership gave Chinese Galaxy devices features like Note Assist, real-time call translation, and Circle to Search, while tapping into Meitu's Miracle Vision for generative image tools. Despite having localized AI, Samsung's market share remains microscopic. In a market where every domestic competitor now offers the same localized AI features, a foreign brand can't win on software alone if it lacks the deep ecosystem ties that keep Chinese users locked into local services. Apple and Samsung are currently treating AI as a series of isolated features, things like editing a photo or summarizing an email. The Chinese domestic leaders are moving directly toward agentic AI, where the phone operates independently across multiple apps. This pyramid diagram shows why Huawei has a structural advantage. They control the Qwen processor at the hardware level, HarmonyOS at the software level, and the Pangu and DeepSeek models at the AI level. They lock together into a single, unified stack. Meanwhile, Xiaomi is leveraging the speed of the open-source community. By integrating frontier models like DeepSeek into their HyperOS, they can iterate and deploy multi-app orchestration agents faster than Western OEMs. This means a user can tell their phone to plan a trip, and the AI agent will autonomously book the train in WeChat, reserve the hotel in Meituan, and hail the ride in Didi, without the user ever switching apps. Chinese domestic brands aren't just adding smart features, they are starting to hide the individual apps behind a layer of automation. You stop clicking through a dozen different interfaces and start delegating the entire task to the operating system. But running advanced AI natively on a device runs into a brutal physical bottleneck, trying to cram a 27 billion parameter language model into the strict memory limits of a standard smartphone. To solve this bottleneck, developers turn to a technique shown here. Third parties like PrismML use extreme quantization, compressing dense data matrices into 3 state notes, -1, 0, and +1. By applying group-wise scaling, they retain over 90% of performance while drastically reducing size. But the paper math rarely matches the hardware physics. A model that technically takes up 5.9 gigabytes actually requires a 7.2 gigabyte footprint on the device because current hardware requires 2-bit storage slots to hold those values. This is why Apple's highest-tier on-device reasoning system is physically restricted to their cutting-edge A19 Pro silicon, shutting out tens of millions of older iPhone generations. True untethered agentic autonomy is physically gatekept by the cost and memory limitations of premium semiconductor hardware. By 2030, the primary value of a phone will likely shift from hardware specs like camera resolution to the autonomy of its agents. Huawei's vertical control over its own silicon and operating system gives it a structural advantage in security and speed, positioning it to capture the highest-tier premium users. Xiaomi's use of open-source models allows for faster iteration cycles, making them the most likely candidate to scale agentic automation to the mass market. Apple remains a powerful third, but one permanently burdened by the engineering tax of managing two separate AI architectures across the globe. When AI agents begin managing personal banking and daily logistics, do you trust a vertically integrated hardware model or an open-source framework? If you found this deep dive valuable, hit like, share, and subscribe to KYC AI Labs for more science behind the headlines.